Coming up, we'll break down exactly what is going on with Bitcoin now that spot ETFs have finally been approved in the United States. Plus, we've got not just one, but two altcoin setups for you today. All that and more. Stay right there.
Bienvenido to your crypto future.
Welcome to your crypto future, where you can learn to successfully trade the crypto market, make life-changing money, and develop a top-tier skill set that can revolutionize how you and your family live and work. Here are today's top altcoin picks. The following setups are selected because their price action is offering opportunities to trade. There are many ways for you to trade these setups. Bitcoin needs to play along, of course, so mind the weather, but lots of potential with these. First up, this is galxe, a Web3 token. Currently, the price action is working its way out of this Adam and Eve pattern. Two potential entries for this trade. You could aggressively enter on a retest of this curve here, helpfully marked by this dashed white line, or you could wait for the pattern to complete and buy the breakout of the Adam and Eve pattern neckline. Potentially 123%. Mind the weather though, keep an eye on that one. Next up, our second top altcoin pick is glmr, which is a utility token. Currently, the price action is consolidating in this symmetrical triangle following its run-up in December. For confirmation of upwards continuation, you want to buy the breakout of this upper trend line. Potentially 30 to 40% profits with this one, but as always, mind the weather. Bitcoin update. You cannot successfully trade in the crypto space without knowing exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin runs this whole market. You should not enter any trade before considering what Bitcoin's next move is. So let's take a look. This is the 4-hour chart, and we have our basic fib levels here highlighting where the support and the resistance lies. Currently, the price action is stuck below this 200 MA moving average, which is a bit of a concern. Most spot long altcoin trades are not going to play out successfully until Bitcoin can re-establish itself above this line, as traders are going to be hesitant about entering trades when there's a potential for more downside with Bitcoin. So if we can hold this support here, then of course we want to return to this fib level, which is our previous high for this year. But if we do see more downside, we could see a return to this fib level, which is around $36,000. This is another perspective on the 4-hour chart, with the price action currently at the bottom of this broadening wedge pattern. Any break of this red line would certainly equal more downside, at least in the short term. So what we really want to see is a healthy continuation upwards towards this upper green trend line and previous highs for this year. This is the 2-day chart for a broader perspective. Previously, the price action has come up at the end of last year and broke through this long-term resistance level, which is now acting as support for the price action. However, if we lose this level, we could potentially see a return to this area, which is around 31 to 32k. So that could be a point of concern. So keep your eye on this support level. However, if bullish momentum does continue, we can see, of course, that 48, 52k are the next areas to hit. Here's a little bit more perspective on Bitcoin. There was a lot of confusion, fake news, etc. in the build-up to the spot ETF approvals last week, with a clear sell the news type event occurring not long after the approvals were announced, where traders waited to see if Bitcoin would ascend meaningfully higher, and when it didn't, they took profits. And this is where we are now. We're still waiting for a proper reversal to occur in the price action, so more downside is certainly possible. And for altcoin setups to play out, Bitcoin definitively needs to establish a more secure footing before it can continue higher with any confidence. A normal market reset though, if you're willing to put in the time to get to know this market and develop your skills, you can achieve percentage gains like these. I will be routinely breaking down successful trades and highlighting my decision-making process for each one. No hot air or bluster here, just the cool breeze of a strategy that works. If this content is for you, please consider subscribing. Crypto news. The SEC has finally authorized Bitcoin Spot ETFs in the United States in what is widely considered as a breakthrough for the crypto industry. The SEC has authorized ETFs to launch after a decade of denials. They are trading as we speak. However, despite this, Gary Gensler, head of the agency, maintains that the SEC still does not approve or endorse Bitcoin. Chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler, released a long statement on January the 10th following the approval of the Bitcoin Spot ETFs, or rather exchange-traded products, and here are a few key takeaways. In his statement, he said, "We, the SEC, are now faced with a new set of filings similar to those we have disapproved in the past. Circumstances," he said, "however, have changed." What he's referring to here is the US Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, which held the Commission to account for previously failing to adequately explain its reasoning for consistently disapproving applications for Bitcoin Spot ETFs in the United States. The court therefore ordered the SEC to reevaluate all applications, and then if it can't provide adequate reason for not approving them, then they had to approve them. So he goes on to say, "Based on these circumstances and those discussed more fully in the approval order, I feel the most sustainable path forward is to approve the listing and trading of these spot Bitcoin ETP shares." He later concludes his statement with, "While we approved the listing and trading of certain spot Bitcoin ETP shares today, we did not approve or endorse Bitcoin. Investors should remain cautious about the myriad risks associated with Bitcoin and products whose value is tied to crypto." So quite an aggressively anti-Bitcoin statement, despite the approvals, highlighting the fact that the battle between crypto and the SEC is far from over. However, this is what the final page of the approval looks like. It is therefore ordered, pursuant to Section 19b(2) of the Exchange Act, that the proposals blah 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 and hereby are approved on an accelerated basis by the Commission. So despite the SEC's anti-crypto and anti-Bitcoin stance, the order is here, it has been approved, and they are trading as we speak. So what does this all mean? Quite simply, it is a huge step forward for Bitcoin and digital currencies, and is likely to bring a lot of new money into the market for this upcoming bull cycle. But the long-term impact remains unclear, as Bitcoin is now looking to serve two masters: traditional financial markets and the people who want a store of value outside of these mainstream institutions. Bitcoin Spot ETFs have been around for a while, of course, in other countries. When the United States gets on board with something, though, the impact is undeniable. So watch this space. At the start of this video, I asked the question, which breakout would you trade? The answer is B. Both of these examples are very similar on the surface. Both are trying to break out of medium to long-term resistance, flipping the resistance line to support. However, one has a distinct advantage over the other. B has lots of volume behind it, which means there's a lot of buyers showing up here, which will probably help this breakout continue higher. However, with A, there is no volume, meaning there's not many people, not many buyers coming in at this point, which means there is a good chance that A will likely fail to properly flip this line from resistance to support, and the price action is likely to break back down into the pattern. So if you had to decide between these two trades and which one to buy into, B, the one with the most volume, would be the one you choose. That's it for now. Don't forget to check the latest weather report on this channel before entering a trade. Be safe out there. Catch you in the next one. Until then.